What up, Raffalitos? Welcome back to my channel. We are on Camp Street. This is Camp Street in Georgetown. It is Monday morning, Monday the 23rd of December. It's cloudy and overcast, and we're walking south, but we just came from the seawall in the distance. That is the north end of Camp Street. Ends at the seawall, the Atlantic Ocean. And over here, that's the immigration office where people come to get their passports and renewals. What we want to do is to look at this building. This is a multi-story glass structure that's being built here at Lamaha Street near Camp Street. We've seen this building before, so I want to just take another look at it, see how far it's come since the last time we were here. It seems as if they're a lot closer to completion, but I still don't know who's constructing this building and for what purpose. As soon as I get that information, I will bring it to you, but for now, it's next door to the Ministry of Health or Education has an annex next door to it. And on the east side of it, there's this infamous building that Yogyakarta built. Or at least I understand Yogyakarta built it. With embezzled funds from the broadcast company, the national broadcast company. That's what the rumor says, allegedly. Anyway, so this building, this glass building, has been under construction for about a year, maybe more, 2 years. And it represents a change. I think it's a copy, right? It's a mimic of, say, this building, which is that tall blue. It's like a 7-story building that's been unoccupied for a while on Camp Street, but also mimicking the the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center. Right now, where are we? We are here on the reserve, right? This is the median, the reserve for Lamaha Street. This used to be the train line embankment, and from this vantage point we can see this new building. You can see the innards, the inside of the building. Lots of columns, structural columns. That they seem to have done is covered the steel I-beams with concrete on the inside, well, some of them at least. And they also seem to have, so what I'm saying is that these columns, these concrete columns were steel I-beams, right? Those concrete columns on the inside, those were steel I-beams, and they seem to have done that for a few of the columns, not all of them. They've also built an elevator shaft. So what we're looking at is an elevator shaft that runs the height of the building. If you count the floors, if you count the ground floor, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 floors. Let's count that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, if you count the top floor, it's also 9 floors. So that's what's happening here, guys. This is a new glass building, 9-story building that's again changing the skyline of this part of the city because it's the tallest building in this part of the city nearby. Of course, that was the white elephant building that the Vice Chancellor wanted to rent for a downtown campus for the University of Guyana, but I don't think anybody's using it. In fact, that building is still empty. For the last 10 years it has remained empty because the government doesn't know what to do with it. So this is the new glass building. Can't call it a tower, it's like a mid-level, right? It's a low-rise building, I'd call this, in Georgetown, and it's probably privately owned. Ministry of Public Health. So I was wondering, I couldn't remember whether this was Ministry of Education or Ministry of Public Health. So the building next door is actually a Ministry of Public Health building, that blue building. It belongs to or it's being rented by the Ministry of Public Health. And this is what it looks like. That is the new glass building next door. You can see it's taller than the buildings around it. These are the buildings around it. They're mostly 3-story buildings. And here on the embankment and across the street is Cowan Street. Those buildings are all low-rise buildings. This is the embankment. I actually went further down yesterday, the day before, on this embankment towards the end at Main High Street, where there used to be the old train station, right? That was the end of the line for the East Coast Rail, and they turned that into a park. Last time I was there, they were building a water fountain, like a pool, like a reflecting pool with a water fountain in it. And as soon as they completed that, I'm gonna go down there and show it to you. But for now, this is where we are. This is what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. This is the new multi-story glass building being built on Lamaha Street. And I can say I don't know who the owner of this building is, and there are no posters, no signboards on it, so I can't really give you any information. But this is what it looks like. It occupies a narrow strip of plot of land next door to this monstrosity. And as it gets completed, I will bring you updates. Now, this is Camp Street. We've done the Camp Street walk before, so that's what's happening. There's I think a mall under construction here. Or some kind of commercial building. Some kind of commercial building there on Camp Street. But what I haven't done for you recently is to bring you an update of this other tall building being constructed on Lamaha Street, near to the hospital. So we'll go take a look at that. But for now, we're walking beside the railway embankment on Lamaha Street. And this, of course, is where GRA does their counting, the money counting. There are always armed guards on site. GRA handles the taxes for the nation, and all the money is counted up on this part of the embankment. The rest of it, I think they converted into a parking lot. It's not a bit of business I wanted to go into Networks. Take a look at what they've done to that building. But for now, we're on Lamaha Street. Now this is the south side of Lamaha Street. We're walking on the sidewalk. And these buildings are privately owned but quickly becoming commercial. So there is this insurance company, P&P Brokers. They constructed this building, I think, within the last 5 years. I remember when they were building that, there was an old building, old wooden building such as that in this location. So a lot of these buildings, security, this is Sentinel security, are becoming commercial because real estate, of course, is very expensive now. This is the parking lot that they've built. Here, of course, on the other side of this parking lot, you have the embankment. Should have pointed out, that is the Georgetown Technical Institute, GTI. They've had some renovations and some new buildings added to their compound, and this is a new school in the background. That blue building, it's on Wolford Avenue. It's like a new school that is built, some kind of training institute that was built in that location. It's a cloudy morning. Oh, here we are at Thomas Street. This is Thomas Street. Alright, that's Thomas Street in Georgetown, Thomas and Lamaha. And what I wanted to show you is another tall building. That there is the Teleperformance, an extension of Teleperformance building. They are doing what is it? They're handling phone calls and customer service for a lot of foreign companies. Right, that is part of the Teleperformance, and Qualcomm or Qualphone are two of the large foreign customer service handlers in Guyana, taking advantage of the fact that people here speak English, like India, and they are taking a lot of the outsourced customer service calls from companies like Walmart and so on. So this is the now old Georgetown Hospital. It's a massive complex, but the government and a lot of private investors are building private hospitals around the country. It remains to be seen how it will impact the quality of healthcare. I was saying to one of the doctors when I came back to Guyana that the quality of healthcare in Guyana is very, very poor, very low standards, and the reason why is they don't have inspectors or inspector generals that handle quality assurance in the healthcare industry. So in the US, for example, you have JCO, right? It's the Joint Commission that handles hospitals and healthcare organizations. They do the quality assurance assessments annually for hospitals and healthcare organizations. There is no JCO in Guyana. There is no comparable or analogous or similar institution that assesses and accredits hospitals. So in the US, all of your hospitals and medical institutions, even your private medical institutions, have to be accredited, and the accrediting body is the JCO, right? Joint Commission on Hospitals and Health Organizations. But in Guyana, there is nobody that accredits healthcare institutions, and for that reason there are no standards. So how you get treated just depends on who you meet on that day, whether you meet a good nurse or a good doctor, and how you get diagnosed, whether you get misdiagnosed and so on. It's totally a hit or miss. And so I advise people who are thinking of moving back to Guyana. A lot of people are considering moving out of the US now that Trump has taken over again, and there's going to be a lot of chaos in the next 4 years. People are considering moving out, but one of the things you have to consider when you move to Guyana is the fact that the healthcare service is unregulated. It's the quality assurance aspect of it is not. It's not regulated. It's not monitored. There's no accreditation. That's the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. Really, really bad customer service over there. I had cause to visit them for a wheelchair for one of my neighbors in my neighborhood, and the reception, the way they treated you is atrocious. So that's because they are not trained in customer service, how to handle the public. But this is the new building. I wanted to take a look at what has happened. What has happened to this building since the last time I was here. As a matter of fact, it might be best to see it from this parking lot embankment area. Yes, as I was saying, for people who are thinking of moving out of the US, one of the important considerations you have to make is the quality of healthcare, especially if you're moving to Guyana. Now, there are places in the world which have much better healthcare than in the US, and you can actually pay a reasonable price for it. You know, if you go to Malaysia, Singapore, even the Middle East, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, or even in parts of South America, they have really good healthcare at a very reasonable price. And we're talking about Colombia and Brazil. You can get very good healthcare for a reasonable price. But in Guyana, you have to worry about the quality. So with all the new hospitals that are being constructed, that are being built, and that's the Georgetown hospital where healthcare is free. You can go to if you are a Guyanese, you can go to the hospital and get free healthcare for whatever ails you. The problem is that the quality of care and the timeliness, you might end up, if you go to the emergency room, waiting for half a day to get seen, or maybe an entire day. And if you go for just a physical checkup, an ordinary checkup, it could take you an entire day standing in lines and so on. So that's the problem with healthcare in Guyana. But like I said, this is a new building. Wanted to see how far it's come. It seems as if it's a residential building. It's a multi-story condominium kind of building. You can see balconies. I don't know if it's a northern hotel or if it's residences, because you can see it's, let's see, 1, 2, counting the ground floor, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 floors, half a floor on the top. All right, there's a 6-story building, and it's at the corner of Lamaha and Cumming Street. All right, this is Lamaha and Cumming Street. You see the Lamaha sign. And I haven't looked at it in a long time, because for a long time, for like a year or two, nothing has happened. It hasn't changed. There was no activity, but they seem to have been working on it since the last time I looked at it, and it's now close to completion. It seems as if it has windows and walls, right? There are glass walls, floor to ceiling glass walls and windows on this building, and that tells me that they're planning on completing it fairly soon, but we'll come back and look at it once it's completed. But that's it, guys. That's what's happening here. More schools. Like I said, I called Wilford Avenue the school street, and these are some of the schools. This one I think is Richard Ishmael, the backside of Richard Ishmael Secondary School. And then of course there's the Indian Educational Trust and so on. There are a number of schools on this street. that is on that street, Wolford Avenue, but we are on the embankment here. This is what it looks like on a Monday morning at about 8. See, it's about 8:45. It's about 8:45 on a Monday morning here, and it's cloudy and hazy. The plan was to go all the way up to Ogle to take a look at the new AC Marriott Hotel again, to see how far they've come, if they're close to completion now. But it looked as if it was going to rain, and so when I came out at 4:30 this morning, almost 5, I decided it's drizzling, I might get wet and it might not be possible, so probably do that update on AC Marriott on another day when it's not rainy. But here is the substitute for that video, which is an update on construction of new buildings on Lamaha Street. We're passing Light Street, and next one is, so that's the Jagan Dental Center. Remember, Chedi Jagan was a dentist, and a lot of his offspring followed in his footsteps, became dentists. His son Joey Jagan, I think, runs dental offices in New York and in Georgetown. And that's the Jagan Dental Center. And at the next intersection, I think that's Albert Street. This used to be the 704 nightclub lounge. I think that's been converted into, that building is now a supermarket. It's a supermarket on the ground floor, and I guess a restaurant and some other stuff on the upper floors. But buildings are constantly being recycled now. Century 21 Guyana, of course, that's the real estate firm in Guyana, also on Lamaha Street. And that's it. That's what's happening here in this neck of the woods on a Monday morning. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Thank you, a shout out and a thank you to the people who have been supporting this channel for the entire year 2024. It's been a good year. Not a great year, but a good year, and we've made some progress. We hit 10,000 subscribers, and thanks to the people who have become members of this channel and making regular donations, we will be rewarding you in 2025 with new merch, free merch, of course, for the people who are members of the channel. If you've been a member and donating to the channel, we have free merch for you, free t-shirts and jerseys and hoodies and so on that we're going to give out in 2025. And those you can already see them on my website, rnbrand.uk. So you go to that website, check out the merch on that website. Some of that merch is going to be free for the people who are members of this channel, because they make a regular contribution to the channel. And we're going to do some meetups, some brunches. I probably will do a live on Christmas Day and start a new tradition of running lives here in Georgetown, going live from some of the restaurants. All right, so we want to do like a live on Christmas Day for brunch at, say, the this is Albert Street. And so I was saying this is the 7-4 supermarket. So there's now a supermarket on the ground floor of this building. It's 704, and there is this boutique hotel, right? Xenon Hotel at the corner of Albert Street. Yes, I was saying we're going to go do a few more lives before the end of the year, and we're going to use the lives to explore some of the dining arrangements at some of the hospitals, some of the new hotels in Guyana, in Georgetown. I want to do a live on Christmas Day from, say, Best Western, and maybe Boxing Day we'll do it from the Marriott Hotel, and on New Year's Day we'll do it at the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center. And as new hotels open up, we're going to make that a tradition to do a live, say, brunch on a holiday, show you the cuisine, show you the dining facilities and prices and service and so on. But that's what's up, guys. That's what's happening as we go through Albert Street in Albertown. If you want to see more content like this, if you want to support this channel, click like and subscribe. And yeah, I welcome the lively commentary section, the debate in the comment section. I don't take any of the comments personally, but if you give, you will get. You know, if you want to insult me, I will insult you back. That's the name of the game. But that's what's happening here. It's not personal. It's just all part of the fun. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing economy. And where there's a Naira Street. I think we've done a Naira Street review before. It's a number of new buildings, new residential buildings on Naira Street. Probably give you an update on that again, because it's always changing. And at this point it becomes First Street. So that's looking east towards the hospital in downtown. That's First Street in Albertown. Purely residential, well, not residential and commercial. Share this video. Let people know what's happening in Guyana. Later!